Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your July tarot forecast, or tarot insights, I should say. What I'm going to be looking at is not a comprehensive look at your month at all. This is going to be covering one theme that shows up during your month at some point. It may have to do with love, it may have to do with family, it may have to do with work, it may have to do with your home. It can be anywhere. I basically have given free rein to Sacred Spirit. We're going to talk about whatever it is that Sacred Spirit wants to bring up for each sign. So it's whatever is most important for you guys to hear about. I know that disappoints some of you because you just want those love readings, but sometimes there are other things that are important too. So, what I'm actually going to be looking at in these monthlies is one particular life cycle that shows up for you sometime in the month of July. And a life cycle, what do you need to know about that? A life cycle is something that we all go through, and the purpose of it is to teach us something or to let us experience something either new or at a new level than before. So life cycle gives us a new lesson or new experience, and we have the setup of the life cycle, then we have the lesson or the experience, and then we have the fulfillment or the ending of the life cycle. The fulfillment is what happens as we integrate that lesson or experience into our lives, and that'll be more at the end of the reading. That'll be like the last three cards that I talk about. Before that is the setup, and then in between is the actual lesson or experience. How long is a life cycle is something that I hear a lot. Life cycles really, as far as timing, depend on you and how quickly you embrace or how much you resist the lesson or experience that you're being set up for. So, completely up to you. I've seen life cycles last as short as 20 minutes, although that's pretty rare usually. And I've seen them go on for years and years and years. So like I said, it really depends on you and how willing you are to embrace the lesson or how much you're resisting that lesson or experience. Okay, so thank you once again, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Now you know what you're getting into. On with your reading. Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let's just jump right into your reading. The first thing that I'm looking at is your environment. And what I'm seeing, what is this saying about your environment? Well, first thing you need to know is environment is anywhere you have energy or effort invested. So usually this shows up as home, but I've also seen it show up as work or as school. And it looks to me like your environment has been pretty flexible lately. You may have been having more than one environment, whether that's, more than one location to do work at or more than one location that you would call a residence. But I see you kind of narrowing that down and bringing that in so that you're coming into a more focused environment. So less options for the environment, less flexible, I guess maybe the best way to say that. Whenever I'm looking at your subconscious leanings, what I'm seeing is there's something on your mind that has to do with a partnership that you've been involved in. And this can be a romantic partnership. Many times it is when this card shows up. But it doesn't have to be. This could be a business partnership too. But it's something where that partnership is kind of going backwards instead of forwards. And in your subconscious mind, what you're working on is, okay, how do I get this to go in the direction that I really want it to go? I'm just eliminating some of the blue out of this screen so it's not all stuck up in my glasses. Okay. The next card I have talks to me about two different things, your learning style and also your communication style. And I feel like as you're learning things, you are just learning what you're interested in learning and where your curiosity takes you right now. And that's really the focus as far as learning. I don't feel like there's any kind of formal or traditional type of education going on unless you're taking, like one-day courses or, something that's just very short, not something that's like part of college or part of a formal school setting type thing. As far as communication style, I feel like in your communication, you're trying to be as fair as you possibly can. You're trying to make sure that people know what they need to know with plenty of time ahead so that they can plan and do what they need to do. Yeah. I just feel like you're being very fair and very measured in your communication whenever it comes to whatever's going on in this particular life cycle. When I look at your work, you have to know that with me, work can be that way that you actually make a living, but it can also be those things that you're doing to improve your own inner self or your inner character. And so for work, if we're talking about how you're making a living, I'm seeing that you're very happy at work. You're happy with what's going on and how things are progressing there. If we're talking about inner work, I feel like you are feeling like you're making some real progress on your inner work and you're really happy with how far you've come with that right now. Da, 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 da. I shouldn't say right now, I should say in July, during this life cycle. All right, so the next thing that I'm looking at is that part of you that's being grown or expanded right now, Virgos. Wow. Growing or expanding in paying attention to your intuition, your intuitive senses, intuitive skills. So for those of you who already know you're intuitive, this means that ability is stepping up a level. For those of you who don't know you're intuitive, you're figuring it out. Things are going to be happening to you that have no other explanation. You're going to be like, what was that? That's actually kind of how I got my start. Anyway, um, also the other thing that can be happening is if you're pretty well established in some intuitive discipline, you may be branching out and going into another one. Like maybe if you read like what I do, maybe you're branching out and going into Reiki or vice versa, you know, whatever. But whatever your intuitive discipline is, moving into something that's a little bit different if you're not expanding just what you already have. Now, the next card that I have does talk to me about those things that you stand for. And what we have coming up for this is somehow messages of inspiration. So there may be like a certain program that you listen to or that you watch, or certain things that you watch on YouTube when they get uploaded, or but certain inspiring things. Maybe maybe you have a calendar that has inspiring quotes every day. I don't exactly know, but there's something, or maybe there's just somebody in your life who tends to inspire you, and you're standing up for that person, or you're standing up for these things that do inspire you. And so, you know, this is just telling me somebody's coming up to you and saying, hey, that's kind of corny. Do you really buy into that stuff? And you're having to say, you know what, guess what? It really helps me. It makes me feel better. Why wouldn't I be into it? All right, so let's see here. Next thing that we're looking at is how other people view you. Interesting. Other people view you as being someone who passes along inspiration to other people in your sphere of influence. So that's kind of cool that that's tied into what you stand for. So maybe you're standing up for yourself being the inspiration and bringing out the inspiring messages. Cool, cool. All right, so lesson or experience that you're looking at for this life cycle in the month of July. We have the Eight of Cups coming up reversed. For those of you who don't know what that means, this means that there was something that you walked away from. Usually it's a relationship, but it can also be like a certain pattern of thinking or some kind of negative influence. I've seen this come up where somebody walked away from a job, but it's a situation or it's a relationship that was draining you and you were putting a lot of energy and effort into it, but it wasn't replenishing you at all. So you walked away from it. Well, the lesson or experience now is walking back into that relationship or back into that situation, whatever that happens to be for you, Virgo. And hopefully you've got good reason. Hopefully you won't be totally drained when you walk back into it again. Hopefully. So as we get into the fulfillment of this life cycle, what we're looking at is it's interesting and kind of contradictory, actually. So this should be interesting to see how it plays out. Virgos, I would love to hear your comments. Because fulfillment of this life cycle has to do with attraction. I feel like this has to do with new things or new people coming in that are also attracting you as you're going back to that old thing or that old situation or relationship. So we have some attraction coming in, but we also have some time alone coming in too. So, and it's really odd because usually you don't see these two as happening together. So the only way that I can really reconcile this is to say that, okay, there's some attraction going on with some person or some situation in your life on one hand, and then on the other hand, there's somebody else or some other situation in your life that you're getting away from and you're separating yourself from. Ultimate fulfillment of this life cycle does show you picking up some new responsibilities. New responsibilities can be taking a relationship to the next level. So this could very much be talking about relationship. New responsibilities could also be talking about getting a promotion at work and taking on some new responsibilities, or somebody at work piling new responsibilities on you without giving you a pay raise. This would still show up on this card. But whatever you're walking back into, I do feel like there is some kind of taking that situation or that relationship to the next level as the ultimate outcome of this. Now, for those of you who hear this and you find it a little confusing and you would like to have clarification for your own self, not just for a bunch of people, because that's the other thing is I'm picking up energies for sometimes these videos get watched over 1,000 different times, so potentially, 700 or 800 people. So I'm picking up a lot of energies for different people. So it could be that we have two different paths that are actually showing up here that are not applying to everybody. So if you want to find out what's really going on with this for yourself, I would suggest getting a private reading where I can just focus on just your energy and see what's really going on with you as far as all of this goes. Okay, so anyway, that is your monthly insights, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I do appreciate all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic month, and I'll see you back here the next time. Peace out.